I never thought my life would fall apart in a lawyer's office, but I guess every family has a breaking point. And ours snapped the day my father died. It was early November in Charlotte, North Carolina. The kind of cold morning where the sunlight looks tired and the air feels heavier than your own thoughts. I remember standing outside my apartment window, watching the traffic roll by when the hospital called. They didn't even have to say the words. I knew. My father was gone. I'm 42 years old. You'd think I'd be ready for something like that. But no one prepares you for losing a parent, especially one you spent your life trying to understand. Dad wasn't cruel, but he was complicated, distant, traditional in the old Southern way, where emotions stayed locked behind a door nobody was allowed to open. My older brother Ethan, on the other hand, always had the key. Or at least he believed he did. Growing up, he was the golden child. Quarterback in high school, straight-A student, Dad's shadow everywhere he went. And me. I was the kid who quietly drew in the corner, too afraid to speak loud enough to be noticed. Mom tried to balance things out, but after the divorce, everything tilted permanently in Ethan's direction. Dad moved to a small brick house near Lake Norman, quiet, peaceful, and big enough for the two of them to build a world where I barely existed. I visited Dad. I really did. Holidays, birthdays, random weekends. But Ethan always made sure I felt like a guest. I used to tell myself it didn't matter, that I had my own life, my own apartment, my own peace. But grief forces you to face the cracks you ignored for decades. A week after the funeral, I got the call from Dad's lawyer, Michael Turner, a man my father trusted more than most family members. He asked us to meet for the reading of the will. Ethan insisted on choosing the time, the place, even the order we'd sit at the table. Classic Ethan. On the morning of the meeting, the sky was covered in gray clouds, thick like wet cement. The kind of day where everything feels like foreshadowing. I parked outside the law firm, a tall glass building downtown, polished and intimidating, and took a deep breath before walking in. The receptionist directed me to conference room B. I remember my palms sweating as I reached for the door handle. I wasn't afraid of the inheritance. I wasn't expecting anything life-changing. I just didn't want another moment where Ethan reminded me I didn't belong. But I opened the door anyway. Inside, Ethan was already sitting at the long wooden table. Arms crossed, chin lifted, wearing that expensive jacket he always put on whenever he wanted to look superior. He didn't stand up. He didn't smile. He just stared at me and said, "You're late." I wasn't. He was early. But correcting Ethan never led anywhere. So I simply sat down across from him. A few seconds later, Michael Turner walked in. Calm, organized, with a folder under his arm and a tray with 3 cups of black coffee. He greeted us the same way he always did. "Good morning. I know this isn't easy. Let's take it one step at a time." Dad trusted Michael. And I trusted Michael because Dad did. He started with the formalities, dates, signatures, legal disclaimers. Ethan tapped his pen against the table the entire time, impatient, irritated, like this was an inconvenience. Then Michael said, "Thomas Harrison's last will and testament, updated in 2019, will now be read." I felt something strange when he said the year. Dad had been sick that year. Weak. In and out of the hospital. He wasn't himself. Ethan glanced at me with a smirk. That's when I knew something was wrong. Michael cleared his throat and began reading. "To my son, Ethan Harrison, I leave." The list was long. Financial assets. Vehicles. The Lake Norman house. Investments Dad never told me about. I waited for my name. I waited for any sign Dad had remembered I existed. And then Michael paused. A long pause. The kind of pause that feels like a cliff edge. Ethan leaned back in his chair and whispered, just loud enough for me to hear, "You don't deserve a penny." My heart dropped. Not because of the words, Ethan had said worse, but because he said it with absolute confidence, like he knew what was coming. Then Michael looked directly at me. Not at Ethan. At me. And with the calmest voice, he said something that changed everything. "Actually, Ethan, that is not correct." The room went silent. Michael opened a separate envelope. Thick, sealed, marked with Dad's handwriting, and said, "Your father left a private addendum, one that affects both of you." Ethan's smirk disappeared, and for the first time in my life, I watched him panic. Michael placed the sealed envelope on the table like it weighed 1,000 pounds. And honestly, it did. It carried the truth. And the truth has a way of rewriting everything. Ethan leaned forward, eyes locked on the envelope. "What is that supposed to be?" he snapped. Michael didn't flinch. He had dealt with hundreds of families like ours, broken, defensive, afraid of losing control. He simply said, "This is a legally binding addendum your father wrote with me present. It supersedes several portions of the will." I felt a cold shiver run down my spine. Why hadn't Dad mentioned this? Why had he waited until 2019, when he was weakest, to make changes that involved both of us? Michael opened the envelope carefully. Inside was a handwritten letter, folded in thirds, edges worn as if Dad had been holding it often. Thinking, reconsidering, regretting. "Before I read this," Michael said gently, "I want both of you to understand something important. Your father was very clear-minded the day he wrote this. He insisted on recording a verification with 2 witnesses and a video statement." Ethan scoffed. "Oh, please." Dad could barely remember what he ate for breakfast by then. Michael's tone hardened in a way I'd never heard before. "Ethan, I was there. I conducted the assessment myself. Your father was lucid, focused, and deliberate." I watched Ethan's jaw clench. He knew he was losing the narrative. Michael unfolded the letter and began reading. "To my children, Ethan and Claire. If you're hearing this, then I am no longer with you. I've spent a lifetime making mistakes I never had the courage to admit, and I want to correct what I can before I'm gone." When Michael said my name, Claire, my throat tightened. Dad didn't use my name often. Hearing it now felt like touching a memory you thought had faded forever. "Ethan," Michael continued reading, "you have always been strong, confident, determined. I relied on you more than I should have. I blurred the roles between father and son, and I placed burdens on you that pushed away your sister. That was my failure." Ethan shifted uncomfortably, but he didn't interrupt. "Claire," the letter said, "you were my silent strength. You never demanded anything from me, even when you should have. I saw your kindness, your resilience, your independence, and I regret not telling you how proud I was of the woman you became." I felt tears burning behind my eyes. Dad never said things like this out loud. Not once. "There is one more thing," the letter went on. "In my final years, I discovered actions taken without my knowledge. Financial decisions. Documents I never approved. Signatures that were not mine. I sought legal counsel to correct these issues. This addendum reflects those corrections." The temperature in the room dropped. Ethan sat up straighter, his face blank but his breathing sharp. "The following assets are to be re-evaluated and redistributed according to Michael's legal findings." Michael lowered the letter. "Your father did not specify exact amounts here. Instead, He asked me to review everything and address any irregularities formally.
Ethan slammed his hand on the table.
This is insane. Dad never questioned me about anything.
You're twisting his words because she...
He jabbed a finger toward me. She probably manipulated him with some sob story. That was Ethan's tactic. Attack first, fabricate second, deny later. But this time, Michael didn't let him. Ethan, he said sharply, your father consulted multiple attorneys that year. He asked for an independent audit of all accounts under his name. That audit revealed concerning activity. What activity? I whispered. Michael breathed in slowly. Withdrawals. Transfers. Signatures that did not match your father's verified handwriting.
Ethan froze.
And for the first time, he didn't have a comeback. Michael opened another folder, thicker, marked with color-coded tabs. This, he said, sliding out a document, is a power of attorney form filed in late 2018. Based on handwriting analysis and your father's medical evaluations at the time, it is highly unlikely he signed this. I covered my mouth. Power of attorney?
Dad would never give that away lightly.
Ethan finally broke the silence. You're saying I forged something?
Are you out of your mind?
Michael didn't accuse him directly. He didn't have to. The facts spoke for themselves. Your father revoked this document in early 2019, Michael said plainly.
The same day he wrote the letter I just read.
I felt my heartbeat in my ears. This was bigger than family tension. This was legal manipulation. Let's take a short break, Michael suggested. I want both of you to process this before we continue. He left the room, giving us space. But space was the last thing Ethan wanted. He leaned across the table, eyes blazing. Don't think for a second you're walking away with anything. I took care of Dad. I handled everything.
You weren't even around.
I swallowed hard. Ethan, what did you do?
He stood abruptly, pacing, running his hands through his hair.
You wouldn't understand, he muttered. Dad needed structure. He trusted me.
I looked at him, not the confident, successful older brother I grew up resenting, but a man unraveling under the weight of secrets.
If you didn't do anything wrong, I said quietly, why does this bother you so much? He stopped. His face hardened. Because you're not part of this family's legacy. You never were. The words hit harder than he intended. But they revealed everything. He wasn't angry about money. He was angry about losing control. Michael walked back in with a laptop.
I want to show you something, he said.
He placed the laptop facing us and opened a video file. The screen brightened. And suddenly, Dad appeared. Sitting in Michael's office. Tired, thin, older, but unmistakably present and aware. My breath caught. Dad looked into the camera and said, This is my voluntary statement regarding my assets and my children, recorded on April 14, 2019.
Ethan whispered, No, under his breath.
Dad continued, I discovered recent decisions made without my consent. I want my attorney to review every transaction from the past 5 years. I trust Michael to protect both my children from further harm, especially Claire. My hand trembled. Dad never protected me from Ethan before. Not like this.
Then Dad said something that made Ethan grip the edge of the table.
If there is resistance, proceed with full legal action. The video ended. Silence filled the room like smoke. Michael closed the laptop gently. Your father wasn't confused, Ethan. He was concerned. Ethan's face flushed red, then pale, then red again. He pointed at Michael, his voice cracking. You're framing me. Both of you. This is some orchestrated. Sit down, Michael said firmly. Not loudly, not angrily,
but with the authority of a man who knows the truth is on his side. And Ethan, actually Saturday.
The moment the video ended, the room felt colder. Not because of the air conditioning, but because the truth had finally stepped into the light. Ethan sat frozen, gripping the armrests of his chair so hard his knuckles turned white. I watched him breathe in fast, shallow bursts, like someone trapped between panic and denial. Michael slid the laptop aside. "We'll continue with the audit findings," he said quietly. But nothing about this moment felt quiet. I leaned back in my chair, trying to steady my breath. I had spent a lifetime being dismissed, overlooked, minimized.
And now, Dad was speaking for me from beyond the grave.
I didn't know if I should feel vindicated or heartbroken. Michael opened the next folder. "Your father requested a formal investigation in April 2019. This included a review of medical records, bank statements, and legal documents filed between 2016 and 2019. Ethan scoffed, trying to recover some of his confidence. Anyone with half a brain knows Dad's memory was failing by then. He didn't know what he was signing half the time. Michael shook his head. The cognitive decline didn't begin until 2020. His records show he was stable and fully capable throughout the entire period we're discussing.
Every answer cornered Ethan a little more.
He felt it. I felt it. And somehow, the truth felt heavier than the lies ever did. Michael placed a printed bank statement in front of us. A long list of transactions highlighted in yellow. He pointed to the first one. April 3, 2018. A transfer of $48,000 from your father's account into an account ending in 2914.
Ethan narrowed his eyes.
Okay. And? Michael looked directly at him.
That account belongs to you.
Ethan blinked hard, caught off guard. Dad wanted me to handle some expenses. Big deal.
Perhaps, Michael replied calmly, but the memo line reads medical equipment, and your father never received any.
The silence that followed was suffocating. Then Michael slid another paper forward. There were 8 more transfers like this, totaling $193,000. My stomach twisted. Dad had been living modestly, quietly.
He didn't have that much to spare.
Ethan's voice rose. These are out of context. You can't just accuse me. Michael interjected gently but firmly. I'm not accusing. I'm presenting your father's request for review. He felt something was wrong. I had to look away for a moment. The betrayal lodged itself in my chest like a stone. Not because Ethan had taken money, but because he'd been doing it while pushing me out of Dad's life. After another 20 minutes of tense explanations, Michael paused.
Claire, he said, looking at me, I believe there are things you deserve to know beyond what's in these documents.
I swallowed. Okay, what things? He closed the folder slowly, thoughtfully. Your father suspected that some decisions made in his name were influenced by outside pressure. He asked me to keep certain files separate until after his passing. Separate from what? I asked.
From Ethan, he said plainly.
The words hit Ethan like a punch.
Dad would never hide anything from me.
Michael's expression didn't change. He didn't want confrontation. He wanted clarity. The tension in the room was suffocating.
It felt like the walls were leaning in, listening.
Michael continued. If both of you are willing, I'd like to take this step by step. But I think it may help if you both take a brief recess. I nodded. I needed air. Real air. I stepped out into the hallway, the fluorescent lights humming above me. The building smelled like old carpet and lemon disinfectant. Familiar, sterile, safe. But inside me, everything was shifting. I leaned against the wall, closing my eyes.
Memories began surfacing, small things I had ignored.
Dad hesitating when I visited. Him double-checking envelopes before handing them to Ethan.
The way he once whispered to me, "Not now, sweetheart," when Ethan entered the room.
I thought he was tired. I thought I was overreacting. But now, it all made horrifying sense. As I tried to steady my breathing, the elevator dinged and opened. A woman stepped out, a middle-aged woman with curly hair, wearing scrubs from a local home care agency. She looked at me for a moment, and her eyes softened.
"You're Claire, right?"
I straightened. "Yes, do I know you?" She smiled gently. "I helped take care of your father. My name is Rosa." My heart thudded. "You took care of him? When?"
"On and off, from 2017 to 2020.
She hesitated. "I was there the day he recorded that statement you just watched." A chill ran through me. "Wait, you were in the room?" She nodded. "I was one of the witnesses." My breath caught. Did he seem confused that day? Rosa shook her head firmly. "Oh no. He was tired, honey, but he was sharp."
He knew exactly what he wanted to say.
She glanced behind her, toward the conference room. "Your brother didn't like me very much." That didn't surprise me. Ethan didn't like anyone who threatened his control. "Why?" I asked. "Because your father trusted me," she said. "And your father didn't want Ethan involved in his finances anymore." My breath hitched. This was big. Huge. "Rosa, did Dad ever mention why?"
She hesitated again, as if deciding whether it was her place to tell me.
Then she whispered, "He said someone was taking advantage of him." My entire body went cold. "Do you know who?" I whispered back. Rosa held my gaze. Her expression was sympathetic and apologetic.
She didn't need to say the name. I already knew.
When I walked back into the conference room, Ethan was pacing angrily, muttering under his breath. Michael was reviewing a separate file. He looked up as I sat down. "Are you ready to proceed?" I nodded. "Yes." Ethan stopped pacing. "This is ridiculous. Dad wanted me to manage things. Claire didn't even visit." That was a lie.
And we all knew it.
Michael turned to him. "Your father's calendar shows Claire visited more frequently in 2019 than you did." Ethan blinked. Confusion, anger, panic.
A storm brewing behind his eyes.
"Now," Michael continued, "there is another issue we must address. The deed transfer on the Lake Norman property." I frowned. "What about it?" Michael opened another document. A deed transfer dated 2019, not 2018 as Ethan had claimed. "Your father added Claire as co-owner on April 21st, Michael said. Ethan's mouth fell open. "That's not possible." Michael remained calm. "It's notarized. And your father was fully coherent at the time. Claire's name is legally attached to the property." My heartbeat pounded in my ears. I didn't know this. Dad had never told me. Ethan grabbed the document, reading it with shaking hands. He looked at me like I'd stabbed him. "You think you can just take everything?" he growled. I shook my head. "I didn't even know about this." Michael added quietly, "Your father wanted her protected." And that was the moment Ethan snapped. Ethan's breathing quickened. He stared at the deed transfer as if the paper itself had betrayed him.
No, he muttered. No, no, this isn't real.
He pushed the chair back so hard it screeched across the floor. Michael and I both flinched at the sound. My father would never give her part of the house, Ethan snapped. He built that place for me. I took care of him. I handled everything. He was unraveling in front of us, anger twisting into panic, panic twisting into something almost desperate. Michael kept his voice calm. Your father made the decision himself. You were not present at the appointment. Claire was also not present. It was entirely his initiative. Ethan shook his head violently, pacing back and forth like a caged animal. You're lying. He couldn't have done that. He wouldn't. She didn't deserve. I interrupted him before he finished that familiar sentence. Don't say it.
Not again.
He froze mid-step, glaring at me with a hatred I didn't recognize anymore. This wasn't sibling rivalry. This was fear of losing control.
Claire, he spat, you were never part of this family.
You left. You didn't care. I swallowed hard.
I called him every week.
You didn't visit enough, he shouted. Because you told him I was too busy for him. I shot back. For a split second, Ethan's expression faltered. Just long enough for me to see something else beneath the anger. Guilt.
Michael stood, stepping between us.
Enough, he said. This isn't productive. Ethan, please sit down. But Ethan wasn't listening anymore. His voice cracked as he snapped. He was old, okay? He was confused. He didn't know what he was signing. The room went still.
Michael lowered his gaze.
Ethan, he said softly, I personally verified your father's mental state on every visit. He was not confused. He was aware that some of his autonomy had been taken away from him without consent. Those words finally shattered something in Ethan. His shoulders slumped.
His breathing grew shallow.
He whispered, barely audible. He told you that? Yes, Michael replied gently.
He told me he was afraid of confronting you.
Ethan closed his eyes, jaw trembling. Not with anger this time, but something much closer to devastation. In that moment, I saw not the arrogant brother who tormented me growing up, but a man who realized he destroyed the relationship he valued most. Michael returned to the table and pulled out a small gray folder sealed with a red tag.
Your father instructed me to open this only after presenting the deed transfer, he said.
Its contents involve both of you. Ethan remained standing, frozen in place. He didn't dare move closer. I could hear my own heartbeat as Michael unsealed the folder. He pulled out several printed photographs, spreading them across the table. At first, they looked like simple images, snapshots from Dad's house, his office, his desk. But then I saw it. Something subtle. Something I never expected. A signature pad. Dozens of documents signed with nearly identical strokes. Too identical. Michael pointed to them. These were taken during the audit. We found inconsistencies in the signature patterns going back 3 years.
What are you implying?
Ethan whispered. Michael didn't soften the blow. Many of these signatures appear to have been digitally copied and reused. My breath caught. Digitally?
As in forged.
Michael nodded once. Yes. Your father believed someone close to him was submitting documents on his behalf. Ethan staggered backward, eyes wide.
I never. He shook his head furiously.
No. Someone else must have. His denial didn't sound convincing even to him.
Before Michael could continue, there was a gentle knock at the door.
He turned.
Come in.
The door opened, and Rosa stepped inside. Ethan stiffened immediately. "What is SHE doing here?" Michael gestured for her to sit. "Rosa has a statement your father asked her to give if certain issues arose." I blinked. "He asked you?" She nodded, her eyes warm but heavy. "Your father trusted me, Claire. He told me things he was too afraid to tell anyone else." Ethan scoffed, but Rosa ignored him. She placed a folded paper on the table. "This is my sworn testimony, dated May 2019. Michael read it silently, then handed it to me. The words were simple, but devastating. Thomas Harrison stated that Ethan pressured him to sign documents he did not understand. He expressed fear of losing access to his finances. He asked that Claire be informed if anything happened to him. I felt my throat tighten. Dad wanted to protect me, even when we barely spoke. Even when Ethan convinced me Dad didn't want me around. Ethan's voice was a low growl. "This is ridiculous. She's lying to keep her job." Rosa's eyes filled with hurt. "Your father trusted me. I never lied for him, and I will not lie for you." She stood, hands shaking slightly but voice steady. "He was afraid of you, Ethan." Ethan staggered back into his chair, collapsing into it as if the weight of Rosa's words knocked the strength out of him. His anger, his defensiveness, his arrogance, all of it drained. For the first time, he looked small. Michael exhaled slowly. "We still have more to review, but given the circumstances, I suggest we take a moment before continuing." I looked at Ethan, the brother who once told me I didn't deserve a penny. The brother Dad had feared confronting. The brother who now seemed terrified of his own actions. He whispered something, barely audible. "I didn't mean to hurt him." I don't know if it was true. I don't know if he said it for me, for Michael, or just to ease his own guilt. But for the first time in decades, I saw Ethan not as a bully, but as a broken man. And I didn't know whether to feel angry or sorry. The conference room felt heavier than ever. The air, thick enough to choke on. Ethan sat slumped in the chair, staring at the table as if hoping it would swallow him whole. Michael cleared his throat gently. "If you're both ready, we need to proceed to the final section of your father's instructions." I nodded, though my heartbeat thundered like a drum inside my chest. This was the turning point. I could feel it. Ethan didn't respond. He didn't even look up. Michael opened a dark blue binder, the last binder on the table. "This contains the official redistribution plan your father approved shortly before recording his statement." I felt my breath catch. "Redistribution?" "Yes," Michael said. "Your father believed certain assets had been mismanaged or mishandled. These documents correct that." Michael pulled out a thick stack of papers, spreadsheets, account histories, notarized revisions. He placed them between us and pointed to the first highlighted section. "The Lake Norman property is to be transferred solely to Claire Harrison." I froze. Ethan's head snapped upward like he'd been electrocuted. "Excuse me," he barked. "That house is mine. Dad promised it to me." Michael kept his voice calm. "Your father changed his mind in 2019. He was confused," Ethan shouted. Michael shook his head. "No." He was upset. "Your father expressed concern about how the property was being used." "Used? What are you talking about?" Ethan growled. Michael flipped to a photo in the binder, a picture of the home's dock area, newly renovated. "These renovations," Michael said softly, "were paid for with your father's retirement funds. Funds he did not authorize to be spent." The color drained from Ethan's face. He whispered. No, Dad told me to. But even he couldn't finish the lie. Michael continued flipping pages. Next item. In the event of unapproved withdrawals, all remaining liquid assets are to be redistributed at the discretion of the trustee, with priority given to Claire. I stared at him. Priority to me? Yes, he said. Your father wanted you to receive protections he could not provide in life. A lump formed in my throat. I don't understand why. Michael folded his hands. Because your father felt guilty. Ethan scoffed weakly. Guilty? For what? Michael turned one more page. This one looked different, older, folded, creased. He slid it to me. Claire, this is a letter your father wrote in 2010. He never sent it, but he kept it and asked that you read it now. My breath trembled as I unfolded it. The paper felt fragile, almost warm in my hands. My dear Claire, I know I have not been the father you deserved. I let fear turn into distance, and distance turn into silence. I let Ethan's confidence overshadow your quiet strength, not because you were less, but because I was afraid you would outgrow me. I am sorry. Someday, I hope you know how proud I am of the woman you became. I covered my mouth as tears filled my eyes. Dad had written this 14 years ago. Rosa placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. He loved you more than you realized. I nodded weakly. But why didn't he give this to me? Michael took a breath. Your father planned to. But as the years went on, he felt he had failed too deeply. He didn't know how to bridge the distance anymore. The moment was tender, but Ethan couldn't stand tenderness. He shot up from his chair. This is bullshit. You're manipulating her. All of you. He grabbed the binder and threw it across the table, pages flying everywhere. Rosa gasped. Michael stepped forward instinctively. Ethan, that's enough, Michael said firmly. No, I won't let you steal everything Dad built. Ethan roared. He pointed at me with a trembling hand. You disappeared for years and now you think you get everything? I wiped my tears and looked him directly in the eyes. Ethan, this isn't about money. It's about what you did. He froze. But only for a moment. Then he lunged toward the scattered documents, grabbing one of the pages with the signature comparisons. He held it up, shaking it in the air. These are fake. Fake. I saw Dad sign things. You can't prove. Michael cut him off. Actually, we can. Michael walked calmly to his briefcase and pulled out a small USB drive. Your father recorded multiple sessions with a handwriting specialist and a forensic accountant. He wanted everything documented in case you reacted like this. Ethan's mouth fell open. He what? Michael inserted the drive into the laptop. A series of clips appeared, dated, time-stamped, authenticated. In the videos, Dad sat with experts reviewing the signatures. He pointed to the inconsistencies himself. He explained that he had not authorized certain transactions. He said it all, clear as day. Ethan staggered backward, clutching his hair, whispering, No, this can't be happening. His world, the world he built on control, was crumbling. Michael paused the video and looked at both of us. Now, here is the final part of your father's wishes. He opened the last page in the binder. A single page. Typed. Signed. Sealed. Upon my passing, Michael read aloud. All matters concerning my estate are to be overseen solely by Michael Turner, who will determine distribution based on fairness, intent, and the corrections outlined above. Ethan blinked rapidly. Wait, and oh, Dad can't do that. I'm the oldest. I'm the trustee. Michael shook his head. He removed you as trustee in 2019. Ethan's knees buckled.
He fell into the chair again, hands shaking violently.
Michael continued. Additionally, one item is to be given to Claire directly. It is not financial in nature, but your father considered it the most meaningful part of his estate. I looked up, confused. What item? Michael reached down and lifted a small wooden box, old, polished, carved with initials, TH.
He placed it in front of me. Your father left this for you alone.
My breath trembled as I touched the lid. What's inside? Michael smiled softly. I don't know.
He sealed it himself.
I felt the weight of the moment settle on my shoulders. This box
was the spine of the story I never knew I was living.
Ethan stared at it with a mixture of fury and disbelief. He gave you something, he whispered. He never gave me anything like that. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel small. I didn't feel forgotten. I felt chosen.